Moses is mocking God. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that the world mocks God. That's me. I'm God. So everywhere I look, the world reflects me. My experience of living in this world, in this body, is that, I look everywhere and it's like a clown show, and I'm the butt of every joke. That's what it's like being me. The world reflects me. Even though I'm walking past people, they don't know my name. They've never met me before. I'm watching people over the internet. I'm watching the news. Yet they reflect me. It's like they spy on me. It's like the entire world is spying on me in order to make fun of me. It's a very bizarre thing, but excuse me. But the thing you don't know, the world is full of demons. So what am I talking about? So Moses, okay? Mo says. Mo is the short way of saying Moses, okay? So Mo, King, God. Moses and those who follow him are trying to dethrone God. That's me. And there's a lot I can go into here. So I've spoken in previous videos. I've spoken in previous videos. Excuse me. Demons. I'm surrounded by them. They really don't like me. So I've talked a lot already. I've spoken for many hours about this. Okay, so I don't like repeating myself too much. Okay. So I've been recently speaking about the first beast of Revelation, the second beast of Revelation. The second beast of Revelation is very, it connects with the story of Moses very strongly because, well, first of all, it talks about, he rises up out of the earth. In the Bible, it talks about Moses being buried in the ground. He lived for 120 years, okay? Exactly 120 years. He died at 120 years old. And Genesis chapter 6, verse 3, okay? 6 threes, well, 3 sixes, that's 666, okay? That Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 is, I said, my man will not contend. I said, I'm God, I said that my spirit will not contend with man forever. Okay? And that his days would be 120 years. And I spoke about, so the second beast, he gives the mark of 666 to people, okay? So he's connected with that. I mentioned that. So, and also, I told, when Moses, I gave Moses the task of going to the Egyptians, going to Pharaoh, asking Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. I told Moses to act as God, and Aaron would be his prophet. Okay, so when it says about the second beast of the book of Revelation, it says that he brought fire down from heaven in the sight of men. He deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Well, it's about him, okay? And the thing is that, you know, I was Jesus 2,000 years ago, okay? And I spoke about the Pharisees. You know, I spoke about how they, in their synagogues, they sit on a chair. They call it the chair of Moses, okay? The reason they sit on it is it's a ceremonial chair, but it's a magic power thing. You see, when the Pharisees, when the rabbi, when they, you know, they sit, and that's the thing, right? They're called the synagogue of Satan. An is what the ass is called, right? Anus, okay? Satan, so synagogue of Satan, they sit on the chair of Moses, okay? Who, as I said, he acted as God, right? Because I'm God, and I told, you know, that was the conversation that happened between me and him, according to what's written down in the Bible, okay, in the book of Exodus. So, and this is the thing, right? Because in Judaism, they have the Torah, they have the Talmud, the Zohar, and, you know, they have all their Jewish mysticism stuff, you know, the Kabbalah tree and all kinds of stuff. And so, you know, people say that, you know, a lot of people are of, you know, are of the mindset they believe that Moses wrote the 5 books of the Torah, or the 5 books of the first 5 books of the Bible, okay? I think it's the Pentateuch, isn't it? Penta means 5, doesn't it? Yeah. But a lot of people argue that no, he couldn't have written it. And also, which is really interesting, because when he spoke to me, right, in the book of Exodus, I told Moses to go to Pharaoh and speak to him, right? And, you know, Moses said that he fumbled with his words. He couldn't speak eloquently. So he asked Aaron. He asked if Aaron could speak on his behalf. And that's the thing. I'm God. I was asking Moses to speak on my behalf. And then Moses is like, no, I need someone to speak on my behalf. You see, because in his head, he thinks he's me, right? He wants my position. Moses wants to be God, right? But I used him for my purpose, right? I mean, I choose those, you know, I use, right? For whatever purpose I want to use them for, right? Basically, that's one way of looking at it, okay? So, you know, keep that in mind as I explain this. But yeah, so, you know, Moses is the only one who meets that the criteria. Well, he's not the only one, but he is, you know, he's you know, that when you read about the second beast in the book of Revelation, it's really pointing at Moses. Okay, the Moses connection this is the important connection. Okay, and I'm explaining. I mean, that's the thing, right? Because the world follows after Moses, basically. That's my impression, because, well, that's the thing, right? The world mocks God. They are mocking God. As in other words, it's King God. They've set up Moses as God instead of me, God. Okay? I mean, you only have to look at the current state of the world. You have the synagogue of Satan, right? Living in the land of Palestine. Yeah, they're not real Jews. They're not real Jews. They're fake Jews. They're pretend Jews. They're a bunch of people who wormed their way in, they got into the synagogues and they sat on the chair of Moses, right? And they sat there with authority, pretending like they have the authority of God, because that's the thing, right? I gave Moses I gave him, so much power, right? There were never, he brought all the plagues on, I brought the plagues on Egypt, but, I let him do it on my behalf. I gave him the authority and the power to do it. Okay? And so, and this is the thing, right? So, I was talking about the first 5 books of the Bible. People say it's written by Moses. People argue if it is or not, or if it was or not. But my understanding of the Talmud and Judaism is that, well, it's something like, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments, I think that's pretty much where the Talmud is said to have begun. I think their Talmud, it sort of it was all about oral tradition, right? It was the oral Torah. Okay, the Jews call the Talmud the oral Torah. So it's what they say. This was stuff that wasn't written down. It was the oral Torah. So they started writing it in other books. Okay. Now the interesting thing about the Talmud is it has 63 tractates. Now my understanding, I think it's like 63 volumes or something like that, right? I think that's what that means, right? Which is interesting. There's that number 6:3 again. Remember I said about Genesis 6:3. About the man will own his days will be 120 years. So 6:3, right? 666. And the Talmud is very evil. Okay, I mean it's full of all kinds of horrible, crazy stuff. Okay, about talking about having sex with little children, little girls, and things like that. Okay, I mean it's vastly different from what is written in the Bible. Okay. So when I'm Jesus, I call them the synagogue of Satan. Okay. So the thing is that I was watching this rabbi speak in a video. His name is Manis Friedman, or Manis Friedman, however you want to pronounce it. And he was talking about the death of Moses. If you want to watch it and listen to it, it's on YouTube. But he reads from the Talmud, and it's a totally different story about the death of Moses, and it's got all kinds of Jewish mysticism mixed in there, and all kinds of stuff. It talks about Moses didn't want to die, he didn't really expect to die, and he fought with the angel of death and all kinds of stuff, and God was like gave him a kiss, and he said, "Oh, you got to go now. It's time for you to go now, Moses." And he got a very fancy send off and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. It's a totally different story than the one you'll find in the Bible. Okay. So, why is that? I mean, it's the thing. I have a similar problem with Mary. And that's the thing. The world worships Mary. as well. Mary was the mother, the woman who carried Jesus. Okay, she is of the world. The fact that the Roman Catholic Church worships Mary is indicative of who she is spiritually. Okay, she wants to place herself above me, God. That's what she wants to do, and it's the same with Moses. Okay, and that is generally how man goes. That is what man does. That's why I said to man, I said, first you have to deny yourself. Yeah, you have to tell yourself you are not God. Yeah, you have to go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're not God. God is God. And stop trying to be God. I'm God. And when you watch this video of me, you're looking at images of God, right? You're seeing God 35 you're seeing the image of God 30 frames per second. It's 30 times per second. You're viewing my video. This is a video it's a lot of images of me, right? Because I'm in the video. Okay, I'm God. Oh, it gets complicated. Magic is very complicated, right? The way the world, it is. But I'll carry on. This is the thing, right? I sit at home, I use a computer. I've got a mouse, okay? Mo-use. I'm not Moses, but I use a mouse. Yeah. I'm not Moses. So this is the thing, right? Because I'm Jesus. I spoke 2,000 years ago about the chair of Moses. Well, this is the thing. The ghost of Moses, he's behind me. He's got his he's sexually assaulting me from behind. Okay, so in a sense, I am sitting on the chair of Moses, which is something I called as where the synagogue of Satan lives, right? That's where that's where the Pharisees sit. And Moses, and that's the thing. The reason Moses is behind me because he wants my power. He wants to hide. He doesn't want me to be found. He wants the power. He's trying to dethrone me. Think about it. Moses had the staff of God, right? The staff he had was described as being the staff of God, right? The rod, and I gave him a staff. I turned his staff into a snake, and then got him to, and then I turned it back into a staff again for him. Okay. While he acted as me, he went to Pharaoh and said that he's God. Aaron was speaking on his behalf. Remember, so when you read it, how it's written, well, Aaron was speaking on the behalf of Moses. While Moses stood there and just did stuff. Right? Basically. And then obviously, there was the Passover. Well, that's the thing. The world mocks me right? It mocks God, me, and it passes over me. You know, if you pass over someone, you know, you ignore, you skip, right? And obviously, P-ass over. Well, that's the thing. I am over, right? I am the highest of the high, right? I am God. There's no one above me. Yeah? Spiritually, there's no one above me. I'm God, I'm the creator, right? And Moses, he wants me to sit in his lap, right? P-ass over. I have to wonder if perhaps Moses has some type of connection with Nimrod, who was responsible for the, you know, for the Tower of Babel, or Babel, right? Tower of Babel, which was, you know, these people were trying to build a tower all the way to heaven. Well, that's the thing. The tower is a phallic. It's the symbol of the phallus, and it's a symbol of. Well, that's the thing. It was destroyed. And that's the thing. In magic, the universe is connected with my anus. Okay? So, if man tries to build a tower all the way to heaven, well, it basically just gives me a sore butt. Basically. It's a pain in the ass, is what it is. Because that's the thing, right? You know, man wants to go all the way up to heaven, and then he finds himself with his head stuck up God's arse. Strange story, funny story, huh? It's true. But it's true. Yeah. So what else can I say about Moses? There was something else I wanted to talk about. I'm sure of that. So Judaism. So that's the thing, you know, when I was Jesus, you know, there were the Pharisees. And the Pharisees, they sat on the chair of Moses, claiming to have the authority of Moses. And obviously, Moses was given authority to act as God in the book of Exodus. Okay? You know, I said to the Pharisees, I said, your father was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Well, look at the story of Moses. What was the very first thing he did? You know? He murdered. He murdered, you know, one of the Egyptian slave drivers, right? You know, he saw one of the Israelites being abused, and so he murdered the Egyptian and buried him. Okay? It's interesting though, isn't it? Because, you know, at the very beginning of the story, so Moses's mom, his mother, his mo there, yeah, she hid him for 3 months, and then she put him in a basket, put him in the river, and then, you know, later on, he's telling Pharaoh to let my people go. Let my people go. Well, that's the thing, right? Isn't it interesting? Because his mum let him go, right? And then the next thing, he's standing in front of Pharaoh saying, let my people go. Strange how that, but it's all to do with magic. Is that, you know, there's definitely magic stuff happening there. Well, you know this, yeah. Yeah, probably. You know, specifically about that. But that's the thing. You know, Moses, I mean, that's the saying, you know, the saying that people have, you know, or, you know, where does it say? I can't remember, but, you know, Satan or the devil will come to you as your friend. And that's the thing, right? That's what I've experienced my entire life, this lifetime, is that the snakes, they come to me as friends and people who say they love me or like me or whatever, right? And then I find out who they really are. Yeah. That's how it always goes. Well, yeah, I mean, those are the experiences I've had so far. So, yeah, I've got a big mole on my back, right? I've got a big mole on my back. And you know what a mole is, right? A mole is, well, it has, you know, a mark on the body, right? You know, well, yeah. So a mole, you know, people have moles on their bodies. You know, if someone's a spy, they could be called a mole. If they've let's say they've infiltrated a place, an organization, they could be called a spy or a mole. And a mole is also a type of animal that crawls under the ground, doesn't it? I think it doesn't have any eye. It doesn't have any eyes, or it's blind. I think that's right. Yeah. And you know, I think there's actually a sport, isn't there? It's called like moling or something. I can't remember. You know, people like crawl underground and stuff, something like that. But you know, think of the word spirit. You know, how do you spell? I mean, you know, spy, spirit. You know, which one is? You know, that's the thing. It's Babel. It's a war of magic words, is what it is. Okay. So, let me think of the word mob. You know, mob, you know, usually you would think that a mob is a group of people who are involved in criminal activities. Mo-B. Yeah, mob. Yeah. You know, I've talked about all kinds of words, you know, moon, mo-on. Yeah, the moon reflects the light of the sun. And the sun, well, who's the sun? Yeah. First, you have to deny yourself. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. I've explained all that before. I'm good. So, I mean, this is the thing. Adam and Eve were white people. The Hebrews were white people. The Israelites were white people. The Jews were white people. I mean, bloodline, that was their bloodline, okay? They were white people. There were already people on this planet before the white people arrived. Okay? Adam and Eve and their descendants. So those people who live in the land of Palestine, who have no real reason to be there now. I mean, why should they be there? There's no reason they should be there. Although they would like to claim that they have a reason to be there. Isn't that very convenient for them, huh? But the fact is that they are worshipped as being God's chosen people by Americans, all kinds of people all around the world view them as God's chosen people. They look at them as like historical artifacts, you know what I mean, or whatever, right? They look at them like they're the descendants of Israel, the descendants of Abraham. That's what they look at them as. But they are a very mixed bunch of people, and how does anyone actually really know where they came from? Where's the real proof? All they do is talk a bunch of nonsense and make lies up. They lie and lie and lie and lie and lie again and again and again and again and again. The world is full of liars. Lots of them. Some are better at it than others. Okay? That's how it is. I'm God. I'm the truth. I mean, think about it. The preferred Bible by, you think how many people prefer the King James Bible. Yeah, the King James Bible. They're obsessed with the King James Bible. Alright? I mean, okay, let's start off with the word Bible. Well, what's a bull? Okay, what's a bull? And, I'm God. I told people, don't worship the bull. And what did people call they called it the Bible. Yeah, there's your first red flag. Okay, and then now we go King James. So King James is the Bible? Yeah? Is that what it is? Is this what we're talking about? And now we'll go back and let's circle back to Mo King. Oh yeah, Mo King. Yeah, mocking God. Moses the king, God. Moses the king, God. Moses the king, God. That's basically what people are saying. People don't know what their words really mean. That's the problem. People are speaking in code all the time. Babble. They don't really understand the words that come out of their mouths. They just say what feels good. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. That's how humans operate. People don't understand their words or actions, where they come from. They think they do, but really they don't. That's the thing. Demons. Demons, 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 demons. I mean, think of the very first day of the week. Monday, Moonday. Yeah? Daemon. Yeah? Moses. That's the other thing. Well, that's the thing. I my entire life I've always said, I don't usually say says. I usually say says. He says, she says. I always used to argue with my grandma about that one when I was a kid, and even when I was an adult. So Mo says, or Mo sees. And then obviously, I spoke about the Talmud and the Oral Torah. The Oral Torah. Yeah, Mo says. Oh. got big noses. Yeah. Yeah. Big schnozzles. Sorry, I'm wearing these new earbuds I've got. Probably hear me gulping and stuff. Hope it's not too. I hope it doesn't sound too too much. Hopefully, this sounds a bit clearer though. I find the microphone on my phone is a bit. It's well, it's probably easier with the earbuds, to be honest. Yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to think, what else can I say for this video? There'll be more videos. There's more coming. I mean, this is the thing, right? People mock God. Well, that's the thing. I'm a smoker. I'm smoking. Smoking. Yeah, mocking, smoking, smocking. Yeah, smocking God. Yeah. I'm God. No one out-magics me. Yeah, I'm the master. Yeah, I'm the boss. I made it all. Yeah, I'm the master manifester, the creator, the discontent creator. Oh, there's another word. So in Americans probably wouldn't be too familiar with this, but in England, in the United Kingdom, excuse me. Oh, flipping out. Okay, what does the word diss mean? So if I diss someone, right? If I diss a guy or a man or a woman, that means I'm taking the piss out of them, or I'm making fun of them, I'm mocking them, I'm insulting them, I'm dissing them. Okay then, so if that's the case, if that's what that word means, then what's a disciple? What's a disciple? Yeah, what's a disciple? Jesus had disciples, yeah? Yeah, he did. I did, yeah, I did. Disciples. So there's another reason, so mocking God, insulting God, or being a disciple. You want to be a disciple, do you? You want to follow after Jesus and get on that crucifix, do you? I salute you. Salute. What's the thing? My surname is Salvin. Salute. I will come to you like a thief in the night. Yeah, loot. It's an interesting word. Anyways, what else can I mention here? I mean, that's the thing, right? There's all sorts of connections. I've seen, but well, homosexual, right, or homo sapien, right? Ho is a way of saying, that could maybe that's who, or ho is in whore, and the whore of Babylon. Well, that's the thing. The Talmud was written in Babylon. It's called the Babylonian Talmud. Okay. And obviously, Mount Horeb. Isn't Mount Horeb another name for Sinai? Yeah. So is it the same as Sinai though? Yeah, it is. It says Mount Horeb or Mount Sinai. That's where the 10 Commandments were given to Moses. So there's two different names for that mountain. And obviously Mount is spelled M-O, right? So Moses, Mo-unt. You know, he went up the mountain. He went up the Mo-untain. Yeah? Moses went up the Mo-untain. Yeah? It's word magic. People aren't familiar with word magic. I am. That's why I explain it in a video for you. Okay? So what's the 7th commandment then? Just start. So hang on. Where's the list? Number 7, you shall not steal. Yeah, well that's the thing, right? I told the parable. I said, how do you enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods? First you must bind him. Commandment number 7, you shall not steal. Yeah, you know what a knot is. You tie a knot. So, you know, the reason I looked at number 7 is because the first beast, he has 7 heads and 10 horns, and obviously there are 10 commandments. So I was just thinking, what's number 7? Number 10 is, you shall not covet your neighbor's goods. So, yeah, the second beast, obviously, well, the first commandment, so you know there's the first beast, right? So that's number 1. So number 1, I am the Lord your God. Isn't that interesting? So I am the Lord your God. What does your mean? Yeah. Well, that's Babel. That's word magic right there for you. Okay? Because it has 2 different meanings. You know, it sounds the same. It's spelt differently. I am the Lord your God. You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. 2, okay? Commandment, the second commandment, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. So, if you're taking the name of the Lord your God in vain, you are mocking God. You are mocking God. Yeah? If you're mocking God, well, who's Mo? I mean, that's the interesting thing as well. You know, the 5th commandment is, you shall not kill. Well, that's the thing, right? Because Moses murdered the Egyptian, right? At the beginning of his story. But the Egyptians were known for... Egypt is the land of bondage. Okay? So let me read that again. You shall not kill. Yeah. And my point, well, I was Jesus. I said to the people, right? I said to them, the reason I explained that the laws of Moses were a problem because nobody followed them properly. because they did not follow the spirit of the law. They were word twisters, okay? Doing word magic. I mean, that's the thing, because demons, they just go about doing what they do, and they think what they're doing is good and correct. But the fact is that they are demons. They rely on the twisting of words to accomplish that. They're not doing it consciously. They're doing it. That's their evil spirit. That they are of the evil spirit, and so their actions and their words reflect their actions and their words show who they are. Their behavior can be seen, as I've just mentioned, right? The world wants to sit on the throne of God. That is why people like Moses do the things they do. Okay, when I told him to speak to the rock and he struck it twice with a rod instead, it showed me who he was and who he is. Okay? But I used him for I had a purpose for him, obviously. Yeah. Just because I used someone to do something, yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, everyone will be judged. Yeah? Everyone will be judged. I mean, that's the thing, people lived a life and then they died, and their spirits, their ghosts, they go, doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's very complicated. So, what else can I say here? Well, when I was a teenager, I always used to wear a camo jacket, a camouflage jacket. Well, that's the thing about camo, right? Came-mo, or camo. Came-mo, right? I wasn't Moses. I'm not Moses. But the world would like to think that I am Moses, because that's the thing, the world mocks me, right? And so, I am the one who is mocked. Yeah? The world is mocking me. It's all about trying to use Moses and his story. It's the world and Mary and Moses and Abraham as well, and Paul as well, I think, and others, fighting me, trying to steal my throne. I warned people about their behavior. I told people they had to deny themselves first and put me first. But, that's the thing. People often appear to be doing that. But in fact, what they're trying to do is they're playing the long game with me, thinking that if they play this game with me for a while and give me what I asked for, that they'll, later on, they'll be able to try to dethrone me. That's basically their, yeah. They're trying to play the long game with me. And obviously, you know, they think that they can try to use me, but I can use them as well. I can say, well, you want to do that to me? I'll do that to you as well. Yeah. So that's the thing. The world wants to try to trap me, but I trap the trappers. Those who try to trap me will be trapped. Yeah. I mean, I'm Jesus. I said, those who lead others into captivity will find themselves being led into captivity. Okay? That was an example. You know, I said those who live by the sword die by the sword. You know, you get the point, right? I hope. Anyways, I think that's probably enough for this video. I'll probably make another one soon.